Have you stopped eating meat or just lessening it over time and less dairy? And why have you done it? There are many reasons someone may decide to stop eating animal products, like cutting certain foods can be a choice out of necessity or one's health, or some people just no longer want it. However, despite having legitimate reasons for no longer eating animal products, why do others care if someone's vegan or vegetarian? The same goes for people who drink alcohol. They're always bothered by, well, not all of them. A lot of people are bothered by those who don't drink anymore. There are just people out there who overlook the importance of understanding how others prioritize self-care and show affection towards their bodies. So just listen to your body to know what you should or should not eat. Everyone is different. So just keep that in mind. I've known somebody who went from a carnivore diet to a vegan diet and they got so sick. They almost died. So I don't know what's up with that, but do your own research. But I wanted to talk about dairy and how your body talks to you. Do you ever hear people continuously clear their throats and spit a lot? Thickness in the back of your own throat is a mucus phlegm, and it's gross to hear and feel. I hear it all the time, and every time I hear it, I'm like, that person doesn't supposed to be eating that. It can even come from fried foods. For me, anyhow. I used to think that throat clearing and coughing were the norms. Others in my family have the same issue. As a result, in the past, I lived off of Gas X and extreme stomach pains, and I also missed work because of this. So after a while, I started getting tired of it and started digging for truth. I was fed up with the constant pain. Doctors could not figure out the problem, leading me to research. And that's pretty sad that doctors could not figure out the damn problem. And you know what I learned? Doctors do not even have to take a nutritional class. I guess it's considered an elective. But I've heard, and I'm not sure, do your own research, it's mandatory for nurses? My goodness. And this is why there's a rise in holistic doctors, because people are just tired of the BS. We want to get to the source of the problem, not a fucking Band-Aid. But in digging to find my truth, I found that dairy leads to osteoporosis. Years later, I received a diagnosis for osteopenia. And before I continue on, I wanted to tell you this. As of 2025, my body has healed. This is what happens when you raise your vibes. I didn't have to try, but I healed. I just wanted to let you know it is possible to heal yourself and reverse anything. I wanted to tell you this to give you a friendly reminder of how powerful you really are. But again, was my research correct? Therefore, I feel my research led to my truth anyhow, and further testing proved correct. However, before my diagnosis, my findings are my proof of taking action. And from personal experience of mine, it serves as an example. I discovered I had to eliminate dairy, although I do cheat from time to time because I do like cheese, and meat from my diet because of mucus production whenever I consumed them. Coughing and clearing throat after eating pissed me off. And these types of foods became red flags and an indicator of how some foods no longer work for me. I don't think they ever did work for me. I just didn't realize it. So now when I eat something and I start coughing or having phlegm, I automatically know that was not for me. And there are some conflicting studies about this when I did further research. Like the Dairy Council denies any association between milk and increased mucus production. But why do other studies say otherwise? It is all about the research. Those who have the funds to control the search engines used to conduct research and, they determine what's read. Why I no longer use Google or DuckDuckGo. Both search engines are compromised. This is my personal opinion. Do your own research. And with my research, I found that there's a lot of bias in nutrition studies funded with industry monies. Harvard researchers and analysts from the Center of Science in the Public Interest found this to be true. Also, when a food company pays for an article, the results are 8 times more likely to be more appealing to the company's financial interest than if the study were independently funded. This is concerning. And this makes me think, and this leads me to remember, like back in the day when I used to think about the food pyramid and how it was created with monies. You turn that shit upside down for a more accurate food chart. One day I'll write more about history of the food pyramid and explain more. But I want you to understand, it is not normal if we have to use Gas-X, medications, or laxatives. The world led to think that our bodies are the problem, when in fact it's the food. They've changed the food. Over decades, foods altered with chemicals. Some meats are now lab grown, and some glue is used to make it stick together. Animals are given toxic vaccines, and nothing is what it once was. Food is intentionally made to create illness and kill off humanity. Again, this is my personal opinion. opinion, so do your own research. And the same goes for gluten, a term created to cast blame on those who have an intolerance to foods. In reality, it is the food's alteration that is carrying issues and given a name to hide the truth. These parasites and negative forces, they purposely create names for things they have done in order to deflect attention, and people are falling for it. So just learn to listen to your body and understand that taking animal products out of one's diet is not for everyone. We are all different, but learn your body, and when it talks, just listen. Like for me as a baby, I always had stomach issues. My stomach always hurted, and now I'm equating it to dairy and obviously, trauma, but dairy. In this case, we're going to talk about dairy because my stomach still hurts when I eat dairy. You have to remember, foods are no longer natural. Can you smell and taste chemicals in foods now? Said to be healthy? Especially those who are on a spiritual path. When you raise your vibrational frequency, the more you hear, see, and taste and smell. And understand that some things are no longer for you. So talking about how some foods are not for you, I'm going to talk about a story while I was deployed in the desert. I was running to a makeshift toilet in over 110-degree weather, half dressed because, you work inside and you have no time to put on your shirt or cover. This was after the doctor said, you have 12 hours until the laxative kicks in. Yeah, that was a day to remember. And I laugh. Thinking about it and lucky enough to have the whole tent to myself. There were no stalls, only toilets without walls. Can you imagine if somebody walked in? Oh my God. When I was running to that toilet, man, woo, my butt cheeks were clenched so damn tight, felt like a damn fist. Have a beautiful day.